something really fun about going to foreign countries and finding familiar things. Since I love Japan oh so much. Oh Salt, don't come out and play today. Yes,
Even more than reviewing craft kits.
unless I get to be salty, then that's different. And so for today's video, I compiled my top 7 places to go shopping for arts and craft supplies in Japan. So strap your Copic markers and knead your clay, because here's my countdown from a place that, go if you see one, to holy moly, the detour is worth it.
Some of you might be wondering, did Salty Crafter join me in Japan? Here's your answer.
Let's start with number 7, Arc Oasis. Think of Arc Oasis as a stationery store with some very classical essentials that most artists love, like Copic markers and Moleskine sketchbooks. Arc Oasis does have some great selection of Copics, but be very cautious. Arc Oasis is by far one of the priciest stores for supplies in Japan. They are on average between 10 and 30% more expensive on their supplies. They also carried quite a few Copic specific papers with different thicknesses and smoothness, which is not really specific to them only. You'll see once we get to our more awesome spots. So they have things that range from nibs, sketchbook, liners, and even tutorial books. And yes, I did see some tutorial books also in English, but again, don't jump into it just yet. Just take a look at my reaction when I first found out that the prices are expensive than most other places.
You see, you can tell this is overpriced because I bought this at another shop for $5 cheaper.
But the upside of Arc Oasis is that they do carry most of the known brands. Posca pens, they have you covered. From glittery packs to individually packed, they have.
So they say art and craft shop, but there really isn't much to craft with.
And as for craft materials, I probably wouldn't go there if I'm looking for crafts, because it's mostly either paper crafts or puzzle type things. So overall, Arc Oasis is one of those places, if you see, just go take a look. Number 6, Yuzawaya, which took me a few times to say it right. Yuzawaya, 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 Yuzawaya.
Yuzawaya was recommended to me by my friend Nat, who actually lives in Japan. Shout out to her Instagram that has absolutely adorable handmade things that she sells, so if you're interested, check her out.
They are first and foremost a fabric store with absolutely adorable patterns. It really made me feel like I wish I knew how to sew. I mean, just look at this cute little kitty fabric kind of pattern. It's absolutely just so cute. They had quite a selection of felting kits and displays to show the finished product. Holy carp, what happened to this little dude? If you're into cross-stitching or textile DIYs, they also have quite the selection of that. I actually picked a few of those so that I can try them for the first time with U-grains, because I have no idea how to do that. Why are there creepy dolls? I have no idea. Look, I have goosebumps just remembering that there are creepy dolls. Please get them out of my face. In addition to textiles, they had a very unique selection of stone DIY kits, which I also picked up for a future video. Resin, they have you covered with an average of $15 a bottle, which is honestly the standard price all across Japan. Their resin pigment and mold selections were okay, not the biggest I've seen. That's what she said. Are you into floral decorations? They've got you covered too. They also had an item there I wish I had picked up. You can see on the top right corner a bunch of mini pigment dyes, and I couldn't find these dyes anywhere else after I filmed this video. So even though their resin section is small and humble, that's what she said. Naturally, one of the things to know is that if you see a resin section in Japan, the clay section is not too far away. But remember, in Japan, they are using air dry clay. Even if it says polymer clay, it's not the one that you know, unless it's a brand like Fimo or Sculpey. The reason for that is because most Japanese homes don't have an oven the same way us here in North America have. And since Yuzawaya is limited just for crafts, beads, and textiles, that is why it is our number 6 spot.
Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what it looks like on the outside, try to find the little symbol that looks kind of like the Egyptian flag. and it's written like this.
Number 5. Our next stop is Handcraft Dream, or as you might need to pronounce it, Handcraft Dream. I may or may not be making that up, or am I?
ハンドクラフトドレム
We won't be spending too much time here since it's a kind of hybrid between Yuzawaya and Arc Oasis. It has a really good mixture of craft supplies such as kits, resin, and clay, and they also have really good variety of kits. It is the biggest kit selection I actually saw among any of the other craft stores we're taking a look at today. There is a but. They are, much like Arc Oasis, slightly more expensive than the other stores on their products. You'll definitely find a good selection of resin, beads, and findings. Oh, and be sure to swipe some of the shelves because there's like shelves behind the shelves. Their felting kits were really plenty, but again, looking at the prices, some of them ranged anywhere between $9 to $15, which really was higher in terms for a felting kit. Though I did enjoy browsing it, some of the prices were kind of a turnoff. Their clay and Posca pen selection was pitiful at best. So this store is kind of a compromise of arts and crafts without really being amazing at either. So again, if you see one and you're just curious, go on over there. Maybe they have some discounts or maybe they have items that other stores don't. But because it's a compromise, it wouldn't go beyond number 5 on this list. Number 4, Kawachi.
So here we are at Kawachi, which is kind of a stationery but also a craft store. Their selection for Copics and Posca pens are much smaller than all the other places that you brains will see in this video, but it does get a mention, especially for crafters who are interested in miniature building. So let me show you around.
So as you can see, Kawachi has a lot of wonderful art supplies ranging from known brands like Copic markers and Posca pens, Faber-Castell, and so on. I found myself really enjoying browsing the store. It's not that big, but it really is very enjoyable. That's what she...
So you have different kinds of papers and textures that can be used for miniatures as well.
They also carry craft supplies like resin, clay, and mini flowers. This store is pretty decently priced, so at least you know you aren't getting scammed. I would say Kawachi is one of those places that caters mostly to known brands, so you go in there knowing exactly what you're looking for. Alright, so this is the part where I tell you I got stopped. The manager came up to me and told me to stop recording. And so naturally I did what any YouTuber would do. I just went back in, but this time not with my big camera, with my phone. So excuse the footage. You can see a variety of pastels, colored pencils, clay, and a small resin section. But this store really shines when it comes to miniature building. So if you're into building dioramas, they have foam boards, tiny grass, small blocks, fake sand, rocks, and a huge variety of paints. And that's why Kawachi is our number 4 spot, even though they kicked me out. Alright, Bird, we're done with this list. What do we do? What do you want to do with it? And then? Does it go in the trash? We are now at our number 3 spot. Are you excited? He is. Oi! Don't hit me! So what is Daiso? Daiso is the dollar store in Japan, but it's not a cheap dollar store. It really is a dollar store where most of the products are made in Japan. Yes, you heard me. What are you even doing? Don't let the dollar store idea fool you. This store is by far one of my favorite shops to go to first, before going to any other craft store. Since they carry a lot of craft supplies that are the cheap version and also cheap version of the art supplies, I love this place because it is a low cost and low risk. You're only paying about 100 yen, which again is about $1. So worst case scenario, if you don't like something, you've only really wasted $1 instead of $15 to $20, whether it be for resin, air dry clay, or even felting. Once you find a Daiso, you want to head straight to the stationery section, which is always packed with a huge variety of craft supplies, actual resin, and wait, let's hear these cute little bells. And yes, their felting kits are also just $1 compared to the other shops that we've been, and some of them were between $7 and up. And if you're not sure whether or not you like felting, this is again a low risk place. While browsing there, I even discovered new things like what is decoupage glue? Why are these decoupage papers so cute? Did I buy them? Yes, I did. It's a great place to not feel intimidated by the price tag for new crafts you might want to try. Just look at these cute fake Oreos. They even have wax and stone crafts. Did I pick some of these up? The answer is yes. Yes, I did. Just look at how vast the resin section is. They even arrange the colors in a really pretty way. Lucky for you, many of these items have English written on them as well, so you don't have to feel, again, intimidated by the language. The mold sections were really cute too. Don't expect too much variety, but you still have enough to get you way more than started. Right, Angel? I was also pretty surprised to find that they had Disney and Pixar licensed item too for your resin. They don't have that many kits, but the ones they have are definitely beginner friendly. You looking for fabrics and textile crafts? Yep, they have a good variety for you as well. Just look at these cute anime inspired cloths. You're definitely not going to be missing much if you're looking to get your hands on items that are not brand names. What about art supplies, ya grains are saying? Let's make our way to the stationery section that is right across. Once you're there, you're going to see everything from gorgeous pastels and vibrant colors to questionable watercolor sets. Stay tuned for that as well. I picked it up because I don't know if they're lying. Not sure. I guess we'll find out whether or not it's beautiful colors. Brushes of textures and different sizes, mini colored pencils to premium colored pencils, which I picked up because I'm curious what a premium colored pencil feels like. I even found some imitation Posca pens. Did I pick these up? Heck yeah! Again, remember, these are dollar store items, but you get the low price, low risk. I even found their own version of illustration markers, also known as alcohol supposedly based markers. Is this their answer to Copic markers? Stay tuned, because you'll find out, because I definitely picked up all the colors again. I may or may not have spent quite a bit in there. So you'll definitely have a lot to keep your eyes busy and maybe your wallet a little lighter. By the way, they do have squishies, but I do not recommend them. They are absolute poop. Remember how I said bring self-control? I didn't.
So I may or may not have spent about 92 bucks in here. And just remember that not all Daiso are created equal. Some of them have way more supplies than others. You'll just have to look around and shop around, but the damage has been done. How long was I in there for?
An hour and a half about.
An hour and a half.
Number 2 is one of my favorite places ever, and it goes to Tokyo Hands. The one I'm specifically talking about is the one in Shibuya, which is only a 10-minute direct walk from the Hachiko exit in Tokyo. They have about 5 floors of arts and craft supplies divided into A, B, C sections. On their 5th and 6th floor, if we look at this map, you can see that 5A, B, and C are pretty much art and stationery, whereas floors 6A and B are dedicated to crafts. So let's go take a look. Always remember the floor you came in from because you might get lost. Remember, there are A, B, C sections, and each section has a different set of stairs and elevators. I most definitely, 100% did not get lost. Luckily, they label each floor near the elevators, so you're covered. On 5A, they have a typical stationery section that is mostly made for journaling, casual writing, doodling, or note-taking. But it's also the floor that has the Posca pens, interestingly enough. What I love about Tokyo Hands is that they let you test their supplies. Almost in front of everything that you can test, there's going to be a batch of paper where you can just go to town and have fun testing them out. Look at these absolutely adorable floral and cartoony pens. They are just way too cute for their own good. What about some cute erasers? Hey, why not? They even have the competitor to Posca pens, which is called Juice Paint. Did I buy them? The prices at Tokyo Hands are definitely not scammy. They are one of the lowest, and for some of the things, they even match the price at the biggest competitor, which you're going to see later. I never felt like I was paying more than I should have compared to the other shops.
That is a weird, stressful.
And they really, by far, had the biggest Posca pen section in all of the stores I checked out. I'm personally not sure what the hype is on Posca pens, so I did buy some. Wait for that video too, dang it. And oh my god, look at these absolutely adorable pencil cases. They're just so cute. I want them all. Also, part of me would have definitely bought all of these Burb stationery things, but I really have no use for them. I should start creating a use for them though. Now on 5C, this is by far my favorite section of all time, because we have one of my favorite supplies, which are Copic markers. Unlike other Tokyo Hands around Japan, these Copic markers are actually open, not in a display, and they provide paper for you to test them out. So if ever you're not sure what color you're looking for, or if this is, if you like the nib, you can test them. They have the best prices on the markers and on the refills. They have Copic papers, Copic sketchbooks, Copic tutorial books, and in English as well. If Copic released anything new, they are one of the first stores, if not the first store, to actually have them in stock. 5C is also a wonderful place for those of you who are into oil paints, acrylic, gouache, poster paints, inks. They really do have it all in terms of arts and fine arts in that section. "5B for me was the least interesting part since it's office type supplies. But hey, if you're looking for cute office supplies, they have them. But I'm mostly here for the artsy stuff. On 6A, you're going to find a lot of random types of hobbies, from terrarium building, scrapbooking, resin crafting. Just look at the resin section. They also have one of the largest two-part mold resin collection that I have ever seen. What is that, you might ask? Just look at these molds. You can make tiny hollow cups. Not just cups, but you can make cup sets that come with little, what are they called again? Oh yeah, ice cubes. Glitters and tools are definitely also not missing in Tokyo Hands. I love this store so much because it really is so nicely organized. You know exactly where everything is. The only reason this shop doesn't get #1 spot, despite my massive love for it, is simply because the #1 spot really does go to a really massive store. They also have some adorable miniature house kits. If I really needed a new hobby, I would probably have picked up a few of these, but I don't have time to pick up new hobbies. I have so many hobbies. You'll find your love from origami, the kits, the clay section is also quite decent. But remember, don't buy polymer clay in Japan, since blocks cost anywhere between $4 to $5, which is the same price as North America, or most other places. But generally, you can buy them also much cheaper elsewhere. On 6B, we have textiles and floral type crafts. So if you're into felting and cute kits, this could be a section for you if you didn't find what you're looking for, technically at the Daiso first. So 6B, check the Daiso first because you'll find them way cheaper. Overall, Tokyo Hands is my favorite place of all time. I could spend days over there.
I may or may not love this place a little too much. Just a little too much.
Because it's just so convenient and pretty close to the subway station. For those of you who are more serious, you might find the choice selection a little underwhelming. And that's where we're going. We're going to our #1 spot. And that is why our #1 spot goes to Sekaido. This place is really hard to miss, since the logo right on the outside are some wonky Mona Lisas. I want to be clear that the Sekaido I'm talking about is specifically the one in Shinjuku in Tokyo. It's a massive 6-floor high craft and art supply store. This place was suggested to me by my friend Shiori from Tokyo Creative. Small plugin, if you're interested in more Japan type videos, be sure to check out their channel in description box below. In addition to being the least expensive craft and art supply store in Japan, they also have a rewards program that costs about $5 for 2 years. But I'll let my friend Shiori explain that later on. In this store, you'll find almost anything and everything in either complete sets or individually sold. They also let you test the materials. Here's my friend Nat testing Posca for the first time.
How does it feel?
Nice. It's like so...
It's opaque, eh?
right, yeah. Interesting.
And now here's my friend Shiori explaining Sekaido's discounts and rewards.
So I heard that you guys like the Posca. In here, usually you can buy like 20% of discount of the price, the sticker price, and then on top of that, you can get a 7% worth of the ticket. So you can use the 7% cashback, kind of, and then you can use for the next purchase. So you can grab all Poscas, I guess.
And then,
So this is the sticker price, usually. So if you buy from the Tokyo Hands or Loft, I guess this is the price. But this one is this Sekaido's price. On 7% of this, you can get us the ticket. So you can use
like
next one.
cashback. Awesome.
I probably could have done a whole video just on this store. Since they have 6 floors, that could have been easily done. But let's just keep it brief. The first floor is an overview of the whole store with basics and the most popular materials at the current time.
What do you work as? Shaker.
I don't think I've ever seen this before. Do you know what this is?
Stress-free.
Oh,
You can write it stress-free.
I know.
That's it.
It's so stress-free. Is it?
It feels so nice.
So it's pretty much like a flowy feel. It feels like it's writing with you. That's pretty much it. It's a new experience.
All right, let's say bye-bye to the first floor, and let's go see what's going on in the second floor. What you can expect from the second floor is a respectable amount of art supplies. From brand name sets to individual pencils and markers and paints and paper and art books. Just the art books section alone is worth a visit. Here are a couple of the books we looked at. They welcome you to test out. Just look at how used that sheet of paper is.
So here, meet Shiori. She is a local in Japan.
Yeah.
And this is the shop she recommended to me. So now I want to ask Shiori, what do you like here? Why is it your favorite place to shop for crafts and arts?
Okay, I went to the art school, and then every time I have no idea what I should do, I just explore here, and I can find so many things. So the many inspiration I can get from here. I just walking around and just looking at the pens and then the stationery and stuff, and then maybe I should try this way, and I can get so many ideas. So that's why I like this place. And then the price is always nice. And maybe if you come here with friends, you always can say, oh, I'll buy this one, so could you buy this one? And then we can exchange the materials and stuff.
All right, wait up now, Shiori. Now I want to ask you Grains something. Have you ever exchanged or shared art supplies with friends? I feel like that might seem like a Japanese thing. I personally never lent out my own craft supplies. I'm really curious. Have you done that? Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section below. I even got to encounter different kinds of paints that I never even heard of. Check these ones out.
That's so cool.
These are actually handmade in Japan. This floor is sure to satisfy the artist within you with local Japanese brands and international known ones as well. Now, this whole alcohol marker aisle is absolutely gorgeous. There are brand names I never even heard of. I would have loved to buy quite a few of these. But.
Okay, hang on. I just heard some very shocking news. Shiori, please say it again.
This place, no Copic.
Their alcohol marker section was huge. So they had other brands there too.
Maybe competition.
Maybe, yes.
I know, it's kind of a sin, but you have so many other choices to choose from. So if you're not emotionally attached to Copic markers, you should be fine. Or just head over to Tokyo Hands and let loose, because Tokyo Hands really has the best Copic marker selection. On the third floor, we get more into handcraft materials such as fake grass, rocks, in sheet and powder form. I don't think I remember seeing powdered grass, but they have them. Mini flowers and some quilling kits. They really have a mishmash of craft things. Again, the idea of letting you test the supplies before buying them is absolutely wonderful.
I really love that they let you test everything. See, and they give you little drawings and you can test all the materials here. And it's fantastic.
Even though up here on this floor, we see that they still have paints. So it can get a little confusing if you thought on the previous floor there were no oil paints. I find that Japan is absolutely wonderful for letting you test out the things that you want to try before buying it. Especially, we know that these things may not be cheap. On this floor, there were more art books and paints. Part of the store can be kind of confusing to navigate since some things are not always where you expect them to be, and then they're in multiple different places on different floors. So things are kind of spread out. Oh, side note, you have to pay for whatever you're buying on the floor that you're buying it from. So don't move up and down between different floors with items you have not yet purchased. On the 4th floor, expect to find materials for clay.
I've never ever seen so much air dry clay ever. What you got there, Shiri?
This is the veggie clay made of vegetable.
Oh, vegetable clay. Oh, I never heard of that.
Yeah, and I have no idea, but this is cabbage, tomato, tomato, potato, coffee,
Really?
and mandarin.
I should get that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But they said please don't eat.
Oh no, but what if I finish my creation? I might want to eat it.
Please don't eat.
Made of veggie.
Oh, please. Okay, they said please. I won't eat it.
Resin, deco, and other types of handcrafts. Keep in mind though, Sekaido's strength is absolutely not on kits. You might find some kits here and there, but the kits that I found in other craft stores were not in Sekaido. So I definitely wouldn't recommend going there if you're looking for kits. They have a wonderful collection of different kinds of molds for resin. The resin is also reasonably priced. So make sure you bring your curiosity because you will learn about quite a few new materials. I don't even know what pan pastels are. If you know what they are, let me know because they looked really cute and a guy was just kind of going through them. The colors were really pretty.
I thought this was a broom because it's huge. But can you educate me again?
Jackie said you can make your own broom. It's just a brush that you can do really like big like,
Calligraphy.
paintings. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a broom. I was thinking Harry
Stop.
Potter.
Where are you, an art shop?
And of course they have you covered for all sorts of papers and sketchbooks. They had rows and rows and rows of that. The last 2 floors were mostly dedicated to frames, so I didn't really find it necessary to film there. Sekaido really brought out the kid in me with all their wonderful materials and new things I had never seen before.
Just when I thought this was like bottles of wine, these are premium inks. That's crazy. That's actual squid ink?
No, I'm kidding. This is obviously calligraphy, black ink.
But is it squid black ink?
no.
Oh, they're trolling me.
Yeah.
They're trolling me.
One of the biggest downsides, even though it is our ¡1 store, it is not easy to find. The Shinjuku store is at the Shinjuku subway station. About over 3.6 million people a day pass by that subway station. And to make things a little more complicated, thank you Japan for that, is that this station has well over 200 exits. So finding the right exit to get to Sekaido might prove to be a little complicated because if you take the wrong one, expect to walk anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes. So my biggest piece of advice is make sure you check out the addresses that I'll leave for everything I talked about in the description box below so that you can put it on your maps. Worst case scenario, take a cab there if Shinjuku is a little complicated, which it is. So here were my top 7 craft stores in Japan, some of them in Tokyo, other elsewhere, but I tried to take chains that you brains could find. All the information in description box below. A huge shout out and thank you to Shiori, Nat, Hide, and Juri for being so amazing and telling me about different craft stores. You guys from Tokyo Creative are awesome. If your craft space is anything like mine, sometimes searching for things can be challenging. Sometimes fun, because you're like, I know this was somewhere. And I have to admit, sometimes I don't even know where Salty Crafter hides. Which brings me to today's sponsor. See what I did there? I'm really good at transitions. Don't tell me otherwise, because that'll make me cry. Today's sponsor is June's Journey, which is a game on your phone that is really relaxing to play. If you've ever played games like I Spy as a child, this is definitely going to be right up your alley. The game is set in the 1920s, where the main character, June, is trying to solve the mystery of her sister's murder. And even though the storyline seems a bit heavy, it's actually a really relaxing game. When waiting for things to happen, like waiting for people to show up at the time they said they would show up, I just whip out my phone and I know that I can play a few minutes here or there without having to worry about saving and progress that takes a long time. And this game is free to play, so all you have to do is sit back, relax, and try to find the objects that they ask you to look for. What I really enjoyed about this game is that each part of the room that we had to look for objects for looked like its own painting that could be hung up. So it was very artistic, so it got me really into the visuals. So if you're interested in checking it out, I'll leave the link in the description box below. The game is June's Journey. And thank you again for sponsoring this video. I really just love playing games that are relaxing. Sometimes you don't want to play high-paced stuff, so this is a thing for you.
Be sure to check out the Tokyo Creative channel where we recorded a video on comparing Canadian maple versus Japanese maple. You know I'm gonna be a maple snob.
If you like this kind of video, remember to let me know in the comment section below which one of these stores appeals to your interest. I'm really curious. For me, even though Tokyo Hands is number 2, it is my favorite spot. And don't forget to leave a like. Until then, I will see you grains in the next video.